Do you ever wonder why some women over 40 struggle to lose weight, even on keto? Even though it seems impossible to get the scale moving, even with a fat loss diet like keto, I've held challenge after challenge where women who couldn't get the scale to budge finally got results. Over the next 5 minutes, I want to talk about why these women couldn't get the scale to budge prior to joining my fat loss challenge. That way, you can learn from their mistakes so you finally get the results that you are working so hard for. Now, I know weight loss after 40 seems more difficult, but it really comes down to eating less without adding too much stress to the process. As many women can attest, cravings for all of the wrong foods can easily sabotage the hard work you put into your plan. If you're ready to crush through cravings so you finally get results, drop a line below this video. I'll send you my Crush Through Sugar Cravings guide so you can quit craving all of the wrong foods on your low-carb plan. This is a bonus that I've given to challengers in the past that really helped them ramp up their fat loss results. In case we haven't met, I'm Nissa, and I lost more than 100 pounds after decades of struggling with yo-yo diets. Since then, I've helped hundreds of women break free from fad and yo-yo diets with an easy macro approach to weight loss. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 biggest reasons women over 40 weren't getting results prior to joining the challenge and what changes they made to finally get the scale moving. Also, while I mentioned keto throughout this video, the same rules apply no matter which fat loss diet you follow. The number one reason challengers weren't getting results prior to joining the challenge is they were overeating. And this could mean eating too much fat, too many carbs, or both. The reason a lot of challengers didn't understand that they were eating too much in general is because they were following all of the keto rules they learned, like lowering carbs and eating more fat by focusing on eating keto-friendly foods, but eating foods that fit into a keto diet means absolutely nothing if you end up overeating. And like these challengers found out, you'll never know if you're overeating carbs or fat if you don't track what you eat. That's because learning the right balance for you by consistently tracking is a big piece to the weight loss puzzle. While it's true you want to keep your metabolism strong by eating enough food, fat loss still comes down to getting into a caloric deficit. This is true whether you follow keto, intermittent fasting, or you follow a more flexible diet. When I first began keto, I was told that a caloric deficit didn't matter. I was told that if I just ate enough fat and lowered carbs, that the weight would just fall off. And I believed this because I did track and I was eating a lot more food while still losing weight. The thing is, even though I was eating more food than I really ever had on a diet, I was still eating in enough of a deficit that I was able to lose a pound or so a week consistently most weeks. And because I was eating foods that kept me full and satisfied, it never felt like I was eating in a deficit. This is especially true when I compared to how I felt to the days that I struggled with a miserable 1,200 calorie low-fat diet. Eating a diet closer to 1,700 calories while in ketosis meant that I was never hungry, yet I was getting consistent results. Throw in the extra energy I had from being in ketosis, and now I was even moving more, mostly without trying. That's how getting into ketosis helps a lot of people naturally eat less while also spontaneously moving more. And this is exactly the formula you need for consistent fat loss results. But if you're like the challengers before they learn this lesson, then tracking what you eat to make sure that you're not overeating, be it carbs or fat, can help a keto diet work for you. The second reason many challengers failed keto prior to joining the challenge is they felt deprived during the week, so they ended up binging on the weekends. When you start a very low-carb plan like keto, you end up giving a lot of your favorite foods that are high in carbs, you end up giving those up. So at the start of the diet, this may not seem like a big deal, especially when you realize all of the delicious fat that you get to eat. But eventually, a lot of women who follow keto start to miss their old favorites. And they soon realize that the keto substitute replacements either just aren't the same, or maybe they're too much work to keep up with. When you follow any diet where you have to give up too many of your favorite foods, that's going to make you want to eat that food even more. And while maybe you have enough willpower to tough it out throughout the week, most women end up giving in to cravings by the time the weekend hits. The thing about ketosis is, if you want to stay in ketosis, you can't cheat. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have this problem, and you know that you have the willpower to power through weekends without giving into your favorite carb-filled temptations, then keto could be the right plan for you. But if you end up binging every single weekend because you're restricting so much during the week, that could be a huge problem since weekends account for up to 43% of the total week. Now, if you're falling off track 43% of the time every single week, how well do you think things will go once it's time to measure your results? One way to stay accountable to whichever diet you choose, be it keto or even a more flexible plan, is to join a supportive group of others who have the same goals. Now, lucky for you, a brand new fat loss challenge starts January 2nd. So if that sounds like something that you'd love to be a part of, then stay tuned to my videos for more details. In the meantime, another way to stay accountable to a diet that you choose is to choose the plan that you're least likely to veer off of. In order to lose weight, some sort of restriction has to happen, be it intermittent fasting, low carb, keto, or even a flexible diet approach. You have to restrict in some way in order to lose fat. Now, in the end, all of these plans come down to eating less for most people. Now, I added the caveat for most people because there are still women who don't eat enough, which can lead to a weight loss stall as well. But I want you to keep in mind that that is the exception and not the norm. Now, if you're determined to follow keto because your best friend lost 50 pounds on a keto diet, but you just can't seem to stick to it no matter how hard you try, then keto isn't going to be the right form of restriction for you. Perhaps you do better with a flexible diet, or maybe even intermittent fasting is a better form of restriction for you. The third reason keto didn't work before challengers joined my fat loss challenge is they lacked patience. When most people start a keto diet, the weight falls off pretty quickly in that first week or two. And while that can be a great motivation for someone to continue, the sad truth is only a very small percentage of that initial weight loss, if any, is actual body fat. When you eliminate most of the carbs from your diet, the initial big loss that you experience is water weight. And once you're into week 2 or week 3 of your plan, now you're starting to lose more fat, only the scale won't go down nearly as quickly. In fact, many women stall during the 2nd or 3rd week. Then after that, it's more typical to lose around a pound per week. Some women may lose more, while others may not even hit a full pound of fat loss on a weekly basis. And this, friends, is just how sustainable fat loss goes. It takes a lot of time, and it takes even more patience. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't stick around to see the process through because once the scale stops dropping 2 to 5 pounds each week, they're already on to the next quick fix that will help them shed fat fast. But all of these quick fixes don't fix the problem long term. Then you're left with rebound weight gain that's even harder to take off the next time you try. So if you understand that weight loss simply requires consistent habits and a whole lot of patience, that's when you start getting the progress that you want over time. Anyone who's rushing out for the latest and greatest weight loss trend, those are the women who will still be struggling with the same old problems, vowing to start new with the same old resolutions. So now that you understand 3 reasons why most women over 40 struggle to lose weight, drop a line below. I'll send you my Crush Through Sugar Cravings guide. That way you can crush the cravings that are keeping you stuck on your plan.